Hi guys. What was I gonna say? Hold on. Let me think for a second. I don't know. I'm tired. I sat up most of the night last night watching the news because they finally think they figured out who it was that took Miss Guthrie. And I'm hoping it comes to an end soon because that woman's been missing for 2 weeks. We're gonna rewind this. Let me start by saying Happy Valentine's Day. I do not celebrate Valentine's Day that often, but whatever. It's my choice. Not a religious thing. It's just I don't really fully understand why we have this holiday to make people who don't have somebody feel like less than anything, you know. So if you don't have anybody today, I mean I do, but you're not the only one. There's plenty of people out here that don't. And to be made to feel like you're less than is not cool with me. Coffee. Anyway. What was I going to talk about? I had a whole thing planned out for today and I forgot. I got watching some videos about education and found some really neat old books that they had from the 1800s, and I looked at them and I'm like, you know what? I grew up on those. My schools use those. Those techniques you're talking about, I use those. We grew up on those. I'm not from the 1800s, alright? Definitely not from the 1800s. But the town I grew up in was founded in the 1800s, 1600s actually. Wasn't fully established until the 1800s, but that's neither here nor there. So most of what they use for educational purposes is from 1800s or before. The school books that we had were old. Like when I say old, I mean like there was the books, most of them had the family lineage in them. This book was used by John Smith, and then John Smith, and then Barbara Smith, and then Johnny Smith, and so on and so forth. You know, John Doe, John Doe, John Doe. There's like all these names inside the book listing out who had them, who checked them out, things like that. Yeah, you know, I see the difference in the education from then and now. Like that might be why a lot of the kids, the people that I came up with, are so smart, because we learned the right way before the educational shift. And there is a book on that. The whole one of the videos I was watching was talking about how they put it into law basically that they were going to dumb us down slowly, but it was going to happen. And because of that, the children, poor children out here everywhere, are not getting properly educated. If you you should probably look in some of the homeschool books, the newer ones, or if your kids are in school, look inside those books at how things are worded just to confuse the children. That is not accidental. That is definitely on purpose. I'm so glad that I homeschool my kids now. Well, I wanted to all along, but they gave me a time with my oldest. They wouldn't let me. Like they kept denying me. Well, kind of. They didn't want me to because he was too smart, they said. Because I started teaching him the way I was taught. Using the old books and all that stuff. So he was learning the way I learned. So he was above average on everything. Which made him kind of goof around a lot because the teachers weren't teaching him anything. I mean, he already knew it all. And I hate to say that, but he wasn't trying to be a know-it-all, but he already knew. And instead of pushing them forward in grade levels, they decided to force them into popping pills, which really messed his head up. Because there had to be something wrong with him. Couldn't have been that he was smarter than the average student, because I had time to work with him. I made time because I had him so young. I made time. I had time. I had energy then. So I completely support younger people settling down and having children, because those kids are going to be the ones that we need, because they're the ones that are going to be, those parents will be able to keep up with those kids and teach them the way they need to be taught. So on Valentine's Day, if you get pregnant on Valentine's Day, you will have your kid in November. Yeah. That's I know I didn't get pregnant with my son on Valentine's Day, and I tried to tell the doctors that, because there was no way. It was that time of the month, and I could have done that. I've always tracked everything for myself. I have to. If I don't, then who's going to do it? I'm a numbers person. Anyway, so have your children while you're young if you can, because then you'll have the energy to keep up with them, the energy to educate them, and the sun is glaring on my phone. It'll be okay though, because it's just now really coming up. So this Valentine's Day, make a baby. If you're ready. If you're not, I mean, I get it. And if you do have one, if you do get pregnant, your baby will be due by November. Around about. And then you can have fun with the children. Alright, so in a nutshell, I'm just trying to say, let's wrap this up, because I'm really tired and I forgot everything I was going to say. But yeah, Nancy Guthrie is still missing. They have persons of interest in custody, not charged, just detained. They have a search warrant for their property, their cars, their home, and this person is only about 2 miles from Miss Guthrie's home, their houses. I had a feeling, if it is them, then I had a feeling that it was closer. And that when they found the person, they wouldn't be surprised, or they'd be surprised. And I thought it was somebody who worked for like a lawn care service or a cleaning service, the police somewhere, medical, like all these things were run somewhere. They had to be professionals because of gloves, and they haven't released anything about them yet. And if they are connected, once they release anything about them, they'll either prove me right or prove me wrong. But my gut's telling me she's no longer alive, and that makes me sad. Anyway, I'm gonna get off here because I'm tired and I just don't want to think about it anymore. All you guys stay safe, stay healthy. Make a baby.